Hello everyone, my name is Hannah. Welcome to a new video. So today's video is going to be kind of a fun one. It is all of my most treasured books. So books that I would try to save in a fire. I would try to save all my books in a fire, but you know, if there's a fire, it'd be kind of hectic. These are the ones that I would just like quick run in and grab and then bolt out the door with my dog and my husband. But these are books that to me are irreplaceable. They're not just something that I could just buy another copy of. So a lot of these you'll notice are like my annotated copies, but some of them are just like so special to me that I cannot imagine losing them. So hopefully I never do. But yes, these are all of my most treasured books. So the first book that I'm going to talk about is probably one that you're like, yeah, I already knew that. So that is my copy of A Court of Mist and Fury, specifically my heavily annotated and like drawn in copy. This is the one that I painted on the cover, like all of the cover. I wrote in the front cover in gel pen all of like my favorite quotes. I wrote some of my favorite scenes in gel pen on the back end pages. I've put in little art prints, stickers, and I've just annotated the absolute ever-loving crap out of this book. Like, I just cannot imagine not having this copy, like this exact copy. Just all the highlights and all the little drawings that I did. I just love this copy so much, and it's so much fun to reread this and see my annotations and see all of my little drawings and my little notes. Like, I just have made this so personal to me that I could not ever imagine not having this copy of it. If you want to see like an annotation flip through of this one, because this is my most heavily annotated book, then let me know in the comments down below. Maybe leave like the night sky emoji for A Court of Mist and Fury. But yeah, this is definitely my most treasured book. I would, hands down, if I could only save one book, it would likely be this one, because I just can't imagine not having all of my little notes and drawings and annotations and stuff. I even have stickers in the back. I don't know, I just love it. Let's just get the Sarah J Maas ones out of the way, because you know that there's multiple. So my next most treasured book is this arc of A Court of Thorns and Roses. It took me a long time to find this. I was not given this by the publisher or anything like that. I did a trade actually on Twitter back in the day. It's signed to someone else, but they were getting rid of it, and you can't like buy arcs. It's not really right to buy them because they're not published yet. It even says not for sale like all over them. But yeah, people probably sell this on eBay for like hundreds and hundreds of dollars, which is just ridiculous. But I made a trade for a different arc that I had, and I traded with this girl to get this one, and it's just very special. They're very rare. Obviously you can't get these anymore. Like, you can't just ask the publisher for an arc, so I'm really happy that I have this. The next Sarah J Maas book that made my most treasured books list is this copy of Throne of Glass. This is the original cover hardcover, and while I'm not like the biggest fan of this cover, I really like the other covers better. This is out of print now and extremely rare and hard to find, and so I got this just because I wanted it as part of my collection. Like, I found somebody selling it and I didn't really realize that they were like that incredibly hard to find. And then once I have this and people are like selling this for hundreds and hundreds of dollars, I'm like, I didn't realize like how big of a deal this was. So I am really happy to have this very rare copy of Throne of Glass that you cannot buy anywhere. Again, while I am not the biggest fan of this copy, like this cover, I'm just really glad that I actually have this very rare, hard to find edition. I also really treasure these two editions of Empire of Storms and Kingdom of Ash. This one specifically is the Barnes & Noble special edition, and it is a signed copy. So this one has like special fan art on the end pages. So this is exclusive to this copy. I've also, again, annotated this and made it my own. It is signed. It's the signed first edition that has been specially bound and produced by the publisher, so it has this special page on it. And then I've put like art prints and stuff. I've drawn in this. Again, I don't want to show these drawings though because they might be spoilers, but I've annotated in it, and it's all tabbed up, and it's just like you can't find these special editions anymore. So I'm really happy that I have this and that it's signed. And same for Kingdom of Ash. This is, I don't know if this is a special edition or not, but it is the copy that I got and annotated. So it's got all of my drawings and annotations in it. And again, those are very personal and special to me. So I love this, having these copies with all my annotations in them. So I know that I said I would save only A Court of Mist and Fury in a fire if I could only pick one book, but I would take the extra time to grab this book in a fire. So I would save two. These other ones, I would be very upset if I lost them, but these two to me are like truly irreplaceable. Like they would break something in my soul if I lost them. So this one is this one's a little strange. It is Every Daughter Should Have a Book Like This to Remind Her How Wonderful She Is by Douglas Pales. So this book, my mom gave me, if you can believe it, daughter. My mom gave me this when I graduated high school, and she wrote a note to me in it, and she went through and highlighted and annotated this book for me, and like put stars by certain quotes and just like made it really personal, and it's just like the sweetest thing ever. So yeah, I would need to have this because obviously I love my mom so very much. Mom, if you're watching this, I love you. But yeah, this is one of my most treasured books that I own. It's tied for first, we'll say, with A Court of Mist and Fury. All right, next up we have my Hunger Games trilogy by Suzanne Collins. These are the same copies that I read when I first picked them up in high school. These are some of the books that got me into reading. I am using these as a placeholder for all of my like high school books. I have the Twilight series, The Host by Stephanie Meyer, and then I also have the Divergent series. So all of those are the books that I read when I was in high school, like the exact copies that I read. So they're quite old now. But yes, I am so happy that I still have these books, and they're so nostalgic for me. I reread these a couple of years ago, and they still hold the test of time in my opinion. But picking them up is just such a nostalgic experience, and I really like that. So I treasure these with my whole heart. Next up, we have Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. This is one of my favorite books of all time, and again, this is my annotated copy. I've gone through and made notes and underlined things, so it's just, I really do love this. I feel like this is one where like I could replace this because it's not as heavily annotated, but just holding this book in my hands right now brings me so much joy. I just couldn't leave it off this list because it really is one of my most treasured books. It's one of my favorite books. I will never ever get rid of this one. I love it so much. So I had to add it to the list. Next up is Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. So this is again one of the situations where I have heavily annotated in this, and I just love this one so much. I've underlined so many things. I've made tons and tons of notes in this, and I just really like, look at, I've underlined these entire 2 pages. I just love this book so much, and I love all of my annotations. The only thing I wish is that when I would have ordered this book, I wish I would have ordered it from Penelope Douglas's website, because if you order directly from her, you can get it signed at no additional cost. And I would really love for this book to be signed because I love it so much. Like I've honestly contemplated emailing Penelope Douglas and asking her, like, if I send you my copy of this book, would you sign it for me? I might, honestly. I'm like, what's she gonna, like, if she says no, then I am where I am. But I really want this to be signed because it would just make it even that much more extra special. But yeah, I just love this book so much, and all of my annotations, I treasure it. Same thing goes for A Thousand Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. This is one that I wasn't expecting to love as much as I did, and I started listening to the audiobook for it, and as soon as I started it, I got like maybe a chapter or 2 in, and I was like, no, I need to have this physical book. I need to annotate it in it as I read, and I did. I mean, as soon as I got my physical book, I started annotating in it, and it's just got so many beautiful lines in it. I know a lot of people say that the writing in this one is really cheesy, but I loved it. Like, yeah, it is kind of cheesy, but it's like beautiful cheesy, you know? But yeah, I know a lot of the books on this list are treasured because they're specifically my annotated copies, but that's why I treasure them, because I've made them so personal, and it's just so fun to like look back and see like what I annotated and just remember, be able to flip to like certain parts and remember what it is I loved about this book. So yeah, this one had to make the list. And then the last book on this list is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, specifically this edition of it. I think this is just like the UK hardcover, but I really like the UK hardcover. I think that this is such a gorgeous book. It's so beautiful. It looks like it would be a special edition. It has these really cool end pages. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful book that honestly, I just love it so much. There's nothing like special necessarily about this one, but to me it is, because it's just like so pretty, and this is one of my favorite books of all time. So yeah, I treasure this one as well. So those are all of my most treasured books that I own. I have my little stack over here, and they just make me so happy looking at all of them. So let me know in the comments down below if you have any like really treasured books like this and what they are and like why they're your most treasured ones, because I would be very curious to know. If you made it to the end of this video, leave any color heart emoji, because my heart is so full looking at these. But yes, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, you can let me know by liking and subscribing down below. It really helps support my channel, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.